getting the necessary done, like voting. And I don't know, I haven't still done much housework, but we'll get there. So today I thought I'll share a cute card which I've made, and I'm taking part in a challenge the whole month of November. I'm a little bit behind. It's a challenge that has been set by Martin Stone. It's called the hashtag 30-day Christmas card making challenge. Each day, Martin has set a theme, or it's either a sketch or a color challenge, or it's different things, and we create something, and it's all Christmas cards. So I'm about a week behind. Just give me a sec. Okay, just hold on. I've just been told I'm not live, so on Stampin Play. Okay, let me just check. Just let me know if you can see me, anyone. I'm just trying to check the chat. I am on a different program, and I'm wanting to. Okay, all good, great. So, okay, so yeah, I've been creating different themes. So check back. If you check back on my blog, it's 30-day Christmas card making challenge. You'll find all the posts. So today, I've been it's cup of cheer, and so I thought I'll create my card live for you so you can see what I'm doing, and say hi to me, and let me know who is here with me. Like to see that, and say hello back to you. If you're joining from Craft Alive or Geeks 15, thank you so much. It's lovely to have you along. And if you don't follow me, please do so. I do share regular inspiration. If you like to subscribe to my newsletter, I do share tutorials, latest promotions, and things like that to keep you informed. All right, let's get on to the crafting. I am using a few stamp sets today. We are going to be using the Nothing's Better Than, which is something from our annual catalog. It's got nothing's better than coffee, cookies, cocktails, and chocolate. We're going to use that. We're going to use the Brightest Glow stamp set for our sentiment. And I've also got our little cup from the die, which is from the Cup of Tea bundle or the Tea Boutique suite in the Stampin' Up annual catalog. If you would like to receive a catalog, it is free. Please let me know. If you don't have a demonstrator who is actively sending you one, please let me know, and I can send that out to you. Just leave a comment and I'll get in touch with you. So for our cup, I thought I will use a piece of Sweet Candy Cane's Designer Series paper. This is on the other side. It gets it's just fun, and I like the cute lines, but I'm using this garden green piece to die cut my cup from. And I'm going to set that aside, and I'm also going to cut some cookies because I felt if we're going to have some hot chocolate with some cookies, and because I don't know, Santa might like some cookies. So that's what I was doing in my head. And I'm going to bring in my early espresso. So we're going to do some stamping, and then I'll do my die cutting all at once, hopefully, unless I do forget some things, which happens. So we are going to stamp some cookies on crumb cake cardstock with early espresso ink. You do get, it's an outline stamp. And you probably don't need the inside, but I'm going to. It might give you a bit more depth. And I'm going to do that in crumb cake. Now, this does not fill the entire image. And I'm just going to get probably in the way of the camera. Let's see. Have you been catching some of the classes, the rest of the classes at the Geeks 15 series? I had a class this morning at 9, and I've got another class at 10:30 tomorrow. I will be creating a fun fold. So we have a die cut, a die to cut these out. It of course doesn't cut those little crumbs, but those crumbs are helpful if you are just stamping directly on your card. So let's go this way, and we can die cut these cookies. I'll bring my stamping cut and emboss machine. You can use these with any machine you may have. You will receive, I will put this tutorial up in my newsletter today, so make sure you are subscribed. To those who have subscribed or who knew about my offer of a tutorial a day a little bit late in the piece, I will also be sharing all the tutorials early December so that you can get it in one hit and maybe save it all together. So please subscribe to my newsletter, and each week, and I always have a new tutorial, but this month has been a bumper month for tutorials. So sometimes I share more than one, but a week. You get lots of inspiration. You get ideas for card making, some color combinations, sketches. I'll let you know about promotions. We've got our last chance list coming out 1st of December. That goes up, so keep an eye out with that, and I will put that up on our Facebook page. I went out to my newsletter subscribers yesterday or this morning, early this morning. There are lots of items that are discounted, that as they are available while supplies last. That's from the 1st of December. You need to get onto it fairly quickly. So, and the best way to do it is online, because sometimes by the time you call me, it could have sold out. So online, you know what's available. That's a good thing. So we cut out our 3 cookies. One's a little bit off, but I can hide that. Now I'm going to cut out die cut my cup using that little teacup. And this is not going to be a teacup now. It's going to be a cup of hot chocolate. So currently I have an ordering special which will go until the 28th, which is Monday. And I've got it. You get like a variety of, at 150 you'll get a free product, and I've got that all up on my Facebook page. I don't want to get the information wrong while I'm crafting, but just check that out. So there's different levels. You'll get extra product as you order. So make sure you take a look at that too for any orders placed through me. Okay, so now we're going to be the scrap. And what we need to do is, because our hot chocolate needs some froth, or we are going to create that with the cloud punch. This is just, punches are great. They really make quick and easy projects. I'm kind of just putting that 2/3 halfway kind of thing. Only because I did it earlier and I know I don't need the full thing. Now it's going to be like that. And you can see it's not, that part's not necessary. So I'm going to put that back in and just get a bit of a more circular edge to that. And then I can cut it off a bit so it's not so harsh. Maybe, yeah. That might be better than that. So we get those nice curves of that. So that's the cloud punch, which is giving us a nice frothy top. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue here so we can attach this. And when I get that that a bit of character, that white, so we'll bring our crumb cake and just gonna this sponge dauber. If you haven't seen it, the spa sponge daubers, they just got a little hole at the bottom and you just put it over your finger there like that. You get 5 in a pack. And they're good for adding a bit of color here and there. So I'll just do that. And I'm just going to tap on a bit of crumb cake on that edges. So it's like a bit of a toasted look, like a toasted marshmallows kind of look. I love that effect. Just dot it on. And then we'll bring in the cookies as well. And we're going to use that sponge dauber to add some color onto our cookies as well. Get that washy off. Okay, so I'll tap my ink pad and get the color for the cookies. And we're just going to go around the edges like that. Just add some definition and a bit of extra color, and always makes it more interesting when you've got that extra color. So just to show you a difference there. And I'll probably go around it again. Yes. Okay. That's done for now. We've got our cup. The next thing I've got is a little piece of, this is the Tea Boutique Designer Series paper. So it's got beautiful florals and leafy images on one side. And then it's got like more simpler designs on the other. I'll show you some. I've picked the gingham, but it's got like, I'm just gonna flick that through. That's sweet, and it's mainly in colors which came out this year, the 2023 to 2020. No, 2022 to 2024. I skipped it. Yeah, I tried to go ahead. Right. Now what we'll do is, this is the Label Me Lovely punch. And I am going to punch out a label from this designer series paper. Now the colors, why I've chosen that petal pink, it's petal pink. I've got a petal pink card base, so that's why, because then it's coming together. And we'll keep our pieces separately there. Now, a piece of basic white, which is 10 by 14.3 centimeters as a mat. I'm going to emboss that with the timber embossing folder. And I just think it adds, the timber adds to the warmth of the card, creating that mood. I like to create the mood of a card, not just putting the pieces together. It just adds to the overall feel. So let's bring in our and I've done this probably like in my example, I had it going vertical, and I've done this horizontal. Kind of put up, if I planned it, I probably would have gone vertical, but it's okay. We can go with that. Now I'm going to, with that, trying to get the theme going. I've got crumb cake again, and I've got a, I'm going to go with the sponge doorbell and adding a little bit of color. Because just under that, right? Just thinking. Could add a little bit here as well. Then I've got some petal pink, and I might just bring in some petal pink with a blending brush. And this is what the blending brush I use for browns and neutrals, lighter colors, but the petal pink is a very light color, and I don't want to use my pink brush. So I'm just going to use my light color. Just blending in a bit of petal pink there. And it all adds to that warmth of this card. Okay, now we have this piece which we punched out earlier. I want it here. And I'm just going to fold it over and bend it like that so it goes towards the back. And then we can glue that straight on. So bring in our liquid glue. And you can cut that off and use the back piece, but it was just such a small piece. Plus it, I think, gives a nice edge on that when you do folding it over. Now for setting this up, we've got our little cup, our cup of cocoa, and I put some dimensionals. I'm just making sure I put one on that joint to it's stuck, but I like to make sure it's stuck, and putting that dimensional just makes it more secure. Then we'll stick that down there. Now I had 3 cookies. And I do need the other one, so it's not like I can say, don't worry about it. Let's see. Did it go hiding under something? But we'll stamp another one. Then I'll always have a spare if I find it for the inside, won't I? Or something. Let's do that. And I'll die cut it at the same time I do my sentiment. We've got to do our sentiment, so we'll do it all together. And then you never know, the other one might turn up. All right, so we'll keep them aside. Oh, we can even stick them down. So what I want is now these cookies to stick like that. And so we'll have one half eaten and the other one, even though it's half eaten, we're just going to hide it that it's eaten. And get my dimensionals. And we'll put one on each. Thanks for joining me. Just doing an extra bit of Facebook Live today because it's Geeks 15 and I thought it'll be nice to share some fun. It's using this kit stamp set and bringing up this cookies dies again. I want to turn that around a bit. And we go there. All right. Now for our sentiment, I'm going to do some heat embossing. And I did think I might do this on cherry cobbler. We'll be doing a little bit more work to this piece, but we'll do our sentiment. Okay. So the sentiment I'm using is 'Tis the Season from the Brightest Glow stamp set. The idea when I was thinking is going, you automatically think 'tis the season to be jolly. So kind of hot cocoa reminds you of the fun and of Christmas. So that's where my brain was when I was thinking of that. So I'm using Versamark, and because we're doing some heat embossing, Versamark is a clear, sticky ink. so then your embossing powder sticks to it. Using our embossing buddy there to get rid of any static that is there. So embossing powder will only stick to the sentiment. So we'll pour some white embossing powder on it. This is us embossing powder. It is part of the embossing additions toolkit, which is you get this, you get a little a reverse tweezers, a brush for the embossing, and which is here, and a different embossing buddy, but this is an old one I had. It's $47, I'm pretty sure. It's a great Christmas gift. Okay, so I think it's it's good price, and if it's something you like, maybe someone doesn't know what to give you, you can always say, give a suggestion. I am coming out with a Christmas list for ideas in my newsletter today, so check it out. Maybe you know someone who's crafty, and it's a little toolkit, and you could have 2 of these pals, and it wouldn't matter. And the heat gun is another little tool that helps, which you need for heat embossing. Those are little things you can add to your wish list or tell Santa. You know, sometimes Santa needs ideas. All right, so I've got my die from, this is dies from the Scallop Contours dies. And I've stamped on cherry cobbler. I don't know whether I mentioned that, but I think it will give a nice contrast. And with that garden green cup, it's gonna nicely stand out a bit. Oh, I found my cookie. It had, and there it is. I knew it would show up. I feel like I've got an extra plate in there, but all right. Do you leave cookies? Do the kids leave cookies for Santa? I'd have to, we don't have little kids here, but this year we've got grandkids coming. So, and they're 7 and 5, so I reckon we might be leaving cookies for Santa. I don't know. Depends. I don't know. I might cut this guy down, because this is the one I wanted to hide under here, because it was a bit dodgy. But I'm going to pull that off, and I'm going to hide him under here. You know, those ones that are in QR, you've got to put them under there. And if you don't know what NQR is, the not quite right store here we have in Melbourne. That's it, if anything's not quite right. So Let's put our sentiment on Dimensionals. And there we go. And we'll put our little cookie. And because the dimensional was already stuck on, I like to make sure by putting a bit of glue there. We're not wasting the dimensional, just making sure it's stuck on. Ooh. Now I have got some Stampin' Right markers. These are watercolor markers. You get them as a full pack, so you can buy all the colors, or you get them in like packs of 10 in our color families. This is crumb cake, and this is cherry cobbler. Cherry cobbler is Regals, and this is neutrals. So I'm going to, you can add the splatters like this. If you want more subtle, I use the brush tip. Right. And then I've gone back. I'll show you and see. Right. So I wanted a bit more splattering. So I took the fine, actually, yeah. And I went in and added a bit more darker spots. So do it in like threes. And then do the same with the cherry cobbler. Yeah, that's done. Now we've got to stick our card on and do the last bit of embellishing. So I have chosen a petal pink card base. I've got some pearls, so we might do the inside first, and then I will do the outside. Right. So we might just stamp maybe a cookie. Then you get the crumbs as well there. So good. And we'll get crumb cake and do the inside of the cookie, fill it in. Ooh. You can fix that because you can see through that. And because it's not a full image, you can get away with it, which is great. Right. So then I think I'm going to bring in some of this blending with petal pink, just so that it ties in. And maybe a few splatters with our, take that away. And all right. I've got these festive pearls. Now the festive pearls are actually they get 4 colors. Red, it's full party, silver and gold, but that could pass off at any of the blues. But I wanted this a bit deeper, so I'm going to color 3 of them in cherry cobbler to make it a deeper color. And just give it a second or a few seconds, and then I'll go over it again. It just gives you a bit more of a blend with the card, which has the cherry cobbling there. Add one there. Yeah. I'm going to show you the one I made as a sample. Maybe one there. So hope you like that one. And it's similar, but it's just a different color combo. So this one is the same designer series paper pack. It's a real red. It's evening evergreen card base. And I used the lovely in linen designer series paper on the back there with an early espresso sentiment. And this one is the one we just did. And you can see I said how I did that vertical, and this one I embossed horizontal. And this one was petal pink. We did some petal pink paper there, and with splattering of cherry cobbler. So I hope you have enjoyed those cards and that demonstration. If I can help you with your ordering, please contact me. You can order online, but I'm happy to order them for you. Remember, the ordering special is on until Monday, so take advantage of that and get those freebies in your order. And I look forward to catching up with you tomorrow at in the classroom 1 for the 10:30 class, and we'll be creating with the Fitting Florets collection, which is a limited edition, some products there from Stampin' Up. Great to see you. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a great rest of the day. Bye-bye.